just a bloke in a bar.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of Bloke in a Bar. Before I get to it, remember, the 50% off sale is currently still live. We've got Bloke jerseys, DMP shirts. We sold out of a bunch of stuff, so we've only got a little bit left. We've got Bloke boardies, Bloke cooler bags as well. So head to bloke.shop, 50% off sale. Now with that out of the way, we wake up this morning. The headlines, they read, "Head makes nation come in pants." What paper were you boys reading? Do you see that?
Whoa. I don't know if I saw that one, that particular headline.
Okay,
it was words to that effect, but it wasn't exactly worded like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm new to this cricket game.
There was one last night during the game that had what head was his scores and everything, and it said head tonight. Sitting next to me goes, yes, please.
Oh, the boys have done it.
Yeah.
They've done it in India. It is absolutely incredible. Let's put this into perspective. We never win in India, or we barely win in India.
Yep.
We're up against a nation of 1.6 billion. The last time I checked, it might be 1.7 by now.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
Not
No one's making love. Yeah, not last night.
Day of mourning today.
Yeah, day of mourning. 1.6 billion or around, let's just say it's in the billions.
It's 1.4.
1.4 billion people up against a nation. It is their national sport.
Yep.
We have a tick under 26 million people in this country. Kind of our national sport to a degree. Yes, no, maybe. We go over to their home ground, their home turf, in front of 100,000 people. The stadium is absolutely massive, incredible stadium. They love that sport so much. There was 90,000 Indians or Indian fans outside the stadium, just watching it outside the stadium. Not only do we get the job done, we get it done in a dominant fashion. An incredible day for Australian cricket. And Paddy Cummins, take an absolute bow. It was amazing to watch. And I just think that what a run for this next generation of cricketers that 2 years ago were under the absolute pump by some of our greatest ever cricket players. Hammy, I'll go to you first, mate. Speak to me.
Well, I was very nervous when we won the toss and bowled. How about the size of the kahunas on him, winning the toss and bowling?
Paddy Blue Eyes.
Yeah.
I reckon, actually, I'll let you go, because I'm going to try to give my analysis.
Yep.
Look, you're probably laughing and snickering in your car going, like, it's going to be ridiculous, but I'm going to try to give my analysis on what that decision was and how Australia played. But anyway.
We'll save the best analysis for last. That's coming up. That's coming up soon. Well, I don't know, we were actually sitting in here at Bloke HQ watching it on the screen, and we were all like, what's going on here? Winning the toss and bowling first. Surely you want to bat first on this deck. He knew exactly what he was doing all the way through the tournament. Kohli had been making all those runs, chasing scores. He loves chasing, loves knowing exactly what he's got to do. Australia thought they'd mix it up. And if you have a look through our record over the years in finals, we've had a lot of success when we've been chasing. We like to control and know what we've got to go after. So it ended up being a masterstroke. We started a bit nervy, lost a couple of early poles there, ruined Beak's best too, which we'll get to in a bit. But Davey Warner went out. Steve Smith should have reviewed, but he didn't. Mitch Marsh got out to make one of the worst balls of the whole power play, little half tracker outside off stump. But then Travis Head, get around him. And can you believe this guy actually got dropped earlier in the year because they said his batting wouldn't be good enough in Indian conditions?
No way.
He didn't play the first two tests over there because of that. And now since then, he won us a test match at Indoor. He was the player of the match in the World Test Championship final. And now he's the player of the match in the final of the World Cup, our best batter in the semi-final as well. He's so clutch. I love him. Unbelievable. Just unbelievable.
Mate, what an incredible feat. To think, we all love rugby league here, and we love rugby league here, and we always are going to back rugby league in. But it is just a national sport.
Yep.
It's a national sport. I don't think, to put it in perspective, it's not as big as of a deal. But think about this, like Brazil or something, or England in soccer. That's their national sport, or Brazil.
Certainly
that's their
not cricket.
Sport. Certainly not cricket. Absolutely not. And I guess Australia is a great cricketing nation, but to go over to India in their home turf and do what they did, it's actually incredible. And it's really hard to compare it to any feat in rugby league because we just don't have that same comparison.
Yep.
We really just don't. This is a world game against a nation of 1 billion people.
Yep.
It's crazy.
And then they're running the game. Everything runs to the tick of the IPL clock. They're taking over everything. And I mean, to do it on their terms, they'd gone undefeated the whole way through the tournament. I did say, though, I thought we had the ingredients to knock them off if everyone had a day out, and that's exactly what happened. The other one, I was just going to say, actually, Travis Head, some synergies there with Nathan Cleary. Coming up clutch when it counts, don't you think, in big finals?
Okay.
This is the guy that turns up.
Yeah, bloody oath.
Future cricket immortal. Travis Head.
Really?
Get him in there. Yeah, I'm calling it now.
Get him
in there. Head never fails. So he did really well. The other one who was an important selection, I think, and there was a bit of umming and ahhing, your man. You called for him all along.
I had his back. Manus, I had your back from day dot, baby.
How is it even a discussion now, looking back on it, Stoinis or Manus? I mean, look, he played a really patient, slow innings there.
He stayed patient.
50. He did. Stay patient, Manus fans. You said it.
I said it.
You said it weeks ago. Check the tapes. He said it weeks ago. 58 off 110 balls, but what an important innings that was. Just kind of hanging around out there. If we lost another wicket then, I know Glenn Maxwell saved us against Afghanistan, but do you want to have to rely on him to win you the game? Probably not. It's going to come off every now and again for Maxwell, but great selection, justified it. Just a clinical display there. Like, he couldn't have gone any better. The way the bowlers bowled, keeping him to 240, the lowest score of the whole thing. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah, incredible.
Yep.
I see. Okay, again, this is just going to be my analysis of the whole situation. Looking at the match and obviously following the results all the way through. I reckon Paddy Cummins is obviously what you said in regards to the choosing to bowl first.
Yep.
But I reckon another big reason he probably decided to do that is like India have had their way the whole tournament.
Yeah.
It's like whatever they want. You want to doctor the pitch. You want to this. All that coin toss.
Did you win the toss? Didn't you win the toss?
Yeah. Who knows?
Not for us to say.
Even though it's like a black and white yes or no.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll just leave that there. So I reckon because our fielding and bowling has been pretty phenomenal, especially our last game. I reckon Paddy came into that finals going, why don't we set the tone? Like, why don't we set the table and say, all right, we're coming out with our best. How do you guys react to that? Rather than allowing India to go, we're going to set the tone and see how you react to that. That's what I felt like it actually typified the way Australia kind of played, where they seemed to be really aggressive and almost like we're going all in here. We're not coming in here to like be competitive or like if we get beaten by 1 or 2 wickets by India, how good's that? It's a tough road trip. But by them going bowling first, they're going, no, we're all in here. It's either a disaster or it's a win.
Yep.
Because imagine if that didn't work out for Paddy Cummins, how smashed he would have got for that call.
Yep, 100%.
So I also think that the difference in killer instinct in big moments, I just thought that the Australians nailed it. Like they seemed much more locked in. Whereas India, like you look at we won by 6 wickets, but if you look at that, you go, we pumped them. Well, I'm assuming that's a pumping. But actually, if you watch our early batting order, there were absolutely opportunities that India stuffed up and missed. And I feel like the pressure got to them. I really feel like India, the pressure, they crumbled under it. That's what it looked like, a team crumbling under pressure in the big moments.
Yep. And I mean, they started pretty well. And the noise of the crowd, 110,000 people, we were commenting on it in here. It
Crazy.
was unlike anything you've just about ever heard. But geez, you noticed it really drop off and the decibels go down. They had a graphic up on the screen. I think they went 98 balls without hitting a boundary. And you could hear a pin drop it like that. The fielding, the whole fielding and bowling effort to do that is incredible. And that
taking the crowd out of the game.
Sucked them out. And the thing, like, especially when it's a crowd of 110,000, when that momentum drops, that's like, it's almost like it goes the other way, like down, like as an Indian player, you must have been like, shit.
It's like a benefit. You're actually getting the benefit of their home crowd.
Exactly. Yeah. So they just nailed it.
Oh, I couldn't believe when I watched it on TV. Like, I assumed the seats were blue.
Yeah, I did too initially.
Unbelievable. Then he pointed out a little patch of orange seats.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know if I've ever seen, I think you said it last night, a more dominant crowd.
Yep.
Like, it was like,
I thought it was Aussie guys. They kept
showing the 8 dudes. Yeah.
I when I first was watching, I thought that's weird. It's not sold out. Like I thought India loved cricket. I genuinely thought that.
Yep.
And then I was like, oh wait a sec, it's bloody blue. Everyone's wearing blue.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And the clinical nature of essentially every player.
Yeah.
Like it's just crazy.
Hearing that Blatchy's Blues Bengaluru is actually sold out for next year as well. Off the back of last night. So that's something to look forward to, New South Wales fans.
It was an absolutely incredible performance, and just as I said, the clinical nature and the boys like just stepping up. Like I'm trying to get a comparison so footy fans can see like you are in enemy territory.
Yeah,
you're not going to like even if you go into England. it's a similar culture. You kind of understand. You're going to India. It's a different world, like different culture, different everything. And to do that in a pressure cooker like that, like you have to say this is one of, like not have to, because I can't make this judgment, but I would assume it's got to be one of Australia's best wins in, 20 years?
Absolutely. Imagine the Aussie team bus driving down from the Ahmedabad Caxton pre-game there. Would have been absolute carnage down there. I'm with you. I think that is our best one-day win ever.
Yeah, wow.
Full stop.
Wow.
Those guys, especially India, they're the best, highest paid players in the world in their home conditions. Kohli, one of the best ever, probably the best one-day batter ever. And to turn them over there. And this is the sort of thing that a lot of these guys, Stark, Hazelwood, Cummins, Steve Smith, Dave Warner, this is the sort of thing that would have wanted to tick off, winning something big in India. They haven't been able to win a test series, but you take a World Cup over there. This is probably the next World Cup team is going to look really different. So big tick for them to get it done then. And I reckon our best one-day win ever. And
I think it's such a, Paddy Cummins and this team, when it all went down, the Langer situation and the knock from all the former greats, and the knock from a lot of people was, this next generation's soft, they can't handle a hard taskmaster, and, our glory days of cricket are going to be over because if you can't handle a hard taskmaster, then you're not a good cricket player. I think this batch of players have proven that there's not only one way to be a high level professional, whatever it is, whether it's footy, whether it's, we're looking now in rugby league. The guys coming through now are very different to the last generation. It's different, but doesn't mean it's worse. And I think this Australian cricket team, led by Paddy Cummins, is proving there are different ways to create a hard edge other than being a hard taskmaster. Paddy Cummins, for me, talk about setting your legacy in stone.
Yep.
Like, regardless of what happens from here on out, which I doubt it will drop. Think about his last 24 months. We'll get to. I'll speak more about Paddy Cummins in a little bit. But who else stood out for you guys?
Not many really put a foot wrong. I said those two, Manus and Marsh, and Head obviously with the bat. With the ball, I think they were all pretty good. The wickets were shared around. Starkey was pretty good. He had a pretty quiet tournament, but again, when it counted, he peaked. Very tough to get away in the semi-final, and he was great again. In this game, got Shubman Gill. Rahul was an important wicket as well, their top scorer on 66, and then cleaned up the tail of their Mohammad Shami. Mate, they were all good. Everyone really ripped in and contributed. The part-timers were good as well. They couldn't get them away. I just can't fault just about any of them. What had to happen, happened. Obviously, there's a couple of low scores there, but everyone ripped in and just contributed in some way.
Yeah, I thought obviously Travis was what I love about Travis Head? He could play himself in How's That or something. It looks like he is straight out of 80s cricket. It's unreal. But I thought Manus, he just played his role perfectly.
Yeah.
And I think it came up at one point. I think he was on 47 off 100 balls or something.
Yep.
And my automatic reaction when you compare him to Travis Head is going, oh, Jesus, what's going on? But he just played his role perfectly.
Yeah. And I think that seems to be the environment Paddy Cummins is cultivating, of this team first environment, and I'm not saying that people in the past haven't done that. I'm just saying Paddy Cummins seems to be a very players first person rather than kind of dictatorship. And I don't know how cricket was run before Paddy Cummins, and I barely even watched it, so that could be wrong. Because even when he's been under the pump from the media, and whether his players been, he's done it in a polite way, but he's always been 100% had his players back. But it's never been in an impolite way. He does it so well. He handles the media so well. There's very Paddy Cummins' leadership. There's very little of it that you can really criticise.
Yeah.
What part of it could you criticise at the moment?
Right now, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. The way that he works the media is he's really good at protecting people. He doesn't give the media many grabs. Yeah, kind of really straight bats a lot of stuff.
Yeah, in like a cheeky kind of way where he has a little giggle sometimes. And he kind of
takes the tension.
The tension out of the room.
Yeah,
and so I think the way he's handled it. In regards to the team, what about India? What's going on there? So basically, you've got this gun side that 100% should have win. They were 5 to 6 to 1 odds to win a few games out.
Yep.
Come in and just completely crumble in the big moment. I think they looked like a team that when the big moments arrived, they didn't have the confidence to step forward and take them. That's what it looked like. Again, that might be a stupid way to look at it. That's just outside looking in. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, they were just due for a loss, I think, basically. They'd gone through and they'd beaten everybody. We got them at a good time, I reckon. Get a sense for the conditions early in the tournament. It's fine to drop a game then, but I just felt like they were due. They'd been going so well. At some stage, everyone had to have a bit of a...
But do you think that like little things like one of our boys nicked it, it literally went straight through the keeper. They basically looked at each other, no communication.
Yep.
Like, that is unforgivable on that stage.
Yep.
Where's the confidence of like, that's my fucking ball?
Yeah. Well, I suppose that's the pressure of 1.4 billion people watching you. Like, it's a very unique situation. There's not many teams in the world that are ever going to have to perform under that kind of pressure, and it got to them. And if you hear, there's whispers going around today that they've already sacked their coach, Rahul Dravid.
Oh my God.
After that. And they've had such a, they've been Test Championship finalists into a World Cup final, only dropped one game that was the final. That was the chat going around today, that he's gone potentially already. So
how long's he been a coach for?
2.5 years.
Yeah. Have they gone all right over that period?
Yeah. Legend of the game over there.
Legend. Yeah.
Rahul Dravid, the wall.
So basically, is it the backlash to them not winning is going to be so big that they need to go? We need to do something.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what happens with this team now, because like really, they're all great players. You probably don't need to change that much, but you just get the sense that maybe there might be some drastic action taken. That's all just rumours kind of going around at the moment.
Has this team been together for a long time or a short time?
They've been building for a while. Yeah.
So do you think that because they're so good, there's been a bit of lack of pressure on spots, or is that not true?
No, their squad's really good, and they've had a few players, in fact, fall out with injury through the tournament. So any 15 of them could kind of slot in.
But like usually, like when there's competition for spots, it creates this like killer edge.
Yep.
And they clearly didn't have it when they needed it. Now maybe that, as you said, it might have been just the 1 billion fucking people watching.
Yeah.
But I was just surprised for a team that is supposed to be the cream of the crop, like the best in the business. For them to crumble in their home ground and Australia to look like absolute killers out there, and be just, I guess, aggressive with all of their decisions. It seemed like it anyway.
Yeah, those guys. I mean, that team is so good. It is really rare for at least two of them to not have take 5 or get a ton, or you know what I mean. Like, and nobody did it in this game.
Wow.
So
shows you how good our bowling and fielding is.
Exactly. So and that backs up your decision to win the toss and bowl first.
Yeah. Wow. What an
you and Paddy Cummins have just been really in sync through the whole tournament. Bowl at the wickets, win the toss and bowl first.
Listen, I didn't want to say it, but if the nation wants to thank you, they can.
Yeah. Over to you. Let us know in the comments if you want to thank Beak for
thank me
winning the World Cup for the nation.
Look, there has been moments in history when we've heard of incredible rev-up speeches.
Yep.
Any given Sunday, remember the Titans.
Yep.
Beak on Packer Up, boys.
Yep.
That's what it will be said in a few years' time.
Those are the three that I often divert back to. In my day.
So what you're going to start seeing is when you see highlight reels with voiceovers for cricket, it's going to be Packer Up.
Black and white, slow mo.
It's going to be Packer Up boys audio.
Yeah.
So
Matty should clip one of those up actually. That'd go nuts. The point where it all turned around, put the date up there and stuff.
Yeah.
A few news articles.
The boys are gone.
Yeah. Nation comes pants.
Incredible stuff from the boys. Did the country so proud. Far out. I just think about that. 100,000 plus fans against you.
Yeah.
You think Origin's a cauldron.
Yep.
Go over to India.
Yeah.
Like where, there's doctoring of pitch. You know what I mean? Like it is so big over there. Let's just say the rules are bent quite a bit. And also it's run by, the sport is essentially run by that country.
Yeah.
So it's correct. Like, mate, like they couldn't have had more of layups to win that comp. Because like it's not just the fact they lost it. The lost revenue for India, like certain Indian companies and sponsorships and blah, massive.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, at least they lost in the final and not like the semi.
Yeah,
that would have
true.
been catastrophic.
Far out.
All that other stuff. So, yeah.
Like, Australian win, fantastic. But, mate, I didn't realise how well Kohli had gone throughout this World Cup.
Yeah.
Like, he scored 54 last night. That was 20 below his average for this World Cup.
So you see, I said he was going to score under 50, just so you know that.
So,
He didn't, but
He didn't, but I knew he was going to be way off his average. I knew he was going to be off his game.
Why didn't you say below his average then?
Yeah.
Because I knew he was going to be way off. And when you say way off, you don't know the exact number. And sometimes...
Only a Bronco would claim a loss, right?
real low stuff. Real low stuff coming from a bloke that doesn't support anyone. So you can't even ping on anything.
This is supposed to be a unifying day for the nation. And last thing I want to see is what's going on here.
So look, maybe I carried the 2 when I should have dropped the 1. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the math was slightly off by 4.
Yeah.
But I knew he was going to be well below average.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Well, good prediction. Well done.
I think averaging 70 throughout a World Cup, though, is unfucking
Crazy.
believable.
Crazy. It's like about 100 runs more than the next best, which was Sachin 20 years ago. So another bloke who won player of the tournament after losing a final.
Oh, now we've won 6 now.
Yep.
Like
we just get one day
Australia
cricket.
gets cricket.
We do.
Like for a nation of 26 million just under people,
Yep.
it's actually absurd that we've won 6.
Yep.
Actually absurd.
Yep. That's basically 1 every 4 million people. So lift your game, other nations.
Yeah, seriously. Lift your game. Now, very excited to talk about a brand new sponsor of the podcast, a brand new partner of the podcast, Brutal Truth. Now, what is Brutal Truth? Brutal Truth are bringing a real approach to modern men's personal care products. There are 3 products: a foaming facial cleanser to hydrate the skin, shower gel to lean up, naturally exfoliate the skin, and antiperspirant for sweat protection. Brutal Truth is 100% Australian-owned, natural, and an official partner of Movember. There is currently a sale at Coles for the next 24 hours where the products are 50% off, but you have to get in quick as the sale ends tomorrow. Now, Brutal Truth is the name of the product. My Brutal Truth today, as a Mr. Cricket himself,
Dr. Doolittle, Mr. Racing, Mr. Cricket.
There we go. My Brutal Truth is a lot of extremely successful ex-cricketers from our golden era were, not a lot of, some were very anti-Pat Cummins when the whole the Langer situation happened. And there were a lot of harsh, I guess, opinions about Pat Cummins, even as a bloke to some degree, but also the way he handled himself. And the entire time he handled himself with class, with dignity. And I think that the win last night cements the brutal truth that they were wrong about Pat Cummins, and Pat Cummins was right to back his players and back the direction forward for the Australian cricket side. And I think that Paddy Cummins is an incredible leader. And as you said, if you're going to lead someone to one of the greatest wins in one-day history for the country, you've cemented your legacy as a leader. What do you reckon, Hammy?
Completely agree. I mean, if you had any doubts about him at the start of the year or a couple of years ago when all this was going down, very hard to argue now, isn't it? I mean, World Test champions, never been done before in the UK, retained the Ashes, and he was a big part of that. Off his own bat, not even his preferred skill. He was winning games at Edgbaston, with the backs to the wall there. He saved us a few times with the bat in this tournament as well. And then, we've won the World Cup. I mean, very tough to argue or, if you don't like the way he goes about it, tough. It works, Yeah. And the players are on board. They look happy. They're playing well. They're doing things they've never done before. I can't fault that. Very good leader. And I fully endorse that brutal truth.
Well, what about you? Do you endorse it?
Yeah, I endorse it. I think as a leader, it kind of reminds me a little bit of DCE and the Maroons. Just like I remember, Cherry was never meant to be the guy. There was obviously a lot of criticism around him. He did things a little bit differently than probably what we were used to from the Maroons captains before that. But how can you fold him?
You can't fold him. It is being done.
Yeah.
The job is done. And also the way the job was done. These are decisions these aren't kind of decisions that only, real cricket heads can see. Like sometimes captains are kind of behind the scenes, and unless you know cricket, you don't really see it. These are huge calls that even laymen like me that can see. To come out and basically, after the whole Langer situation, he came out and he was kind of copping flack for not making a statement. He came out and made a pretty firm statement.
Yeah.
He didn't hide behind anything. There was no throwing rocks and hiding hands. He was pretty open about, he felt the direction wasn't what was going on. And he backed his players 100%. And he's getting paid back by backing his players. Even little things, you hear stories about certain things that players do or don't like, that Paddy Cummins talks to them about and says, okay, yeah, we can change this for the team if it suits this. I think his leadership's incredible. And you look in comment sections and another brutal truth is this whole this generation is soft and, he's a soft leader. It is factually incorrect now. Like, there is nothing more tough than going to India in cricket and winning a one day against a team that's undefeated in that World Cup. What's tougher than that? Like, what, swearing at each other going, hey, train harder, bruh. You're not training hard enough. Is that tough? No. Winning the friggin' World Cup, that's tough.
Yeah. The only thing left in the trophy cabinet is the moral ashes. So hopefully next time when they're out here, we can shore that one up as well.
But we might have shored it up a little bit because Dearden Smith walked with the spirit of cricket all through his body last night, and then he wasn't even out.
Yeah. He said, look, I don't want this to be a walkover. I want to make it a bit interesting. I'm not going to review that. And good on you, Smith.
That's the spirit went in his body, didn't it?
It did.
Because
exactly. Yeah.
Walked.
He walked. He was
walked.
not out. So there you go. We're in a good spot to get the moral ashes.
And look, that's 1-0 in the moral battle against England.
Yep.
Like, while they were sitting watching, he was walking.
Yeah.
He could have stayed out there. He was walking to the couch.
Exactly. Exactly. Something to think about, England fans. I'd be very nervous about the moral ashes when they come up.
Very nervous about the moral ashes. Oh, that's the best.
They're coming home.
Where does Paddy Cummins sit for you two, like cricket heads? I know we spoke briefly about it last night, but I was pretty drunk. Where does he sit as far as your Pigeons, Brett Lees, these sort of guys?
Well, he's just got that added dimension, hasn't he, Matty, of the captaincy, probably?
Yeah, we're talking about like best ever Australian teams for a good hour yesterday, and like starting as when we started watching cricket. Obviously, you've got Glenn McGrath as one of the pacemen, and then there's a kind of a cycle of pace bowlers you can throw in. I reckon he's probably going to make my team as in the best team that I've ever seen.
Yeah,
for Australia, of course. Especially because like just the captaincy as well. Like what he's done this year is ridiculous. He's the World Test Championship away, retained the Ashes away, and this World Cup, which no one thought we'd win. Certainly when we were done 9-2. What he's done is absolutely outrageous. He'd definitely be in my team for sure.
Yeah, I've got him in there too now. I think, you're probably going McGrath and Warren, getting a walk-up start, Paddy Cummins, and then the other ones were
the other one was a bit hard. It was a bit harder,
Brett Lee, Johnson, Stark, that sort of era. Throw a blanket over him on their day.
Think about the era that Paddy Cummins inherited.
Yeah.
So we had the whole sandpaper gate situation, and then who was the captain that got done for off-field stuff?
Payne.
And that stuff happened, and whether you agree or disagree with whether we should have gotten the flick, from outside looking in, it looked like it was handled pretty poorly, but whatever. So that happens. Mm-hmm. He inherits that.
Yeah.
He didn't inherit a golden era of like, everyone loves cricket, everyone's behind the boys. Like, obviously, Australia still loved cricket, but there were a lot of people falling out of the love with the game where we're headed for that, 2015 till about... Is that about 2015 to about 2018?
I think sandpaper was 18. 18, yeah.
So, and we hadn't had big wins that much in that era, kind of in that.
Yeah, we were struggling a little bit.
Yeah, he inherits that.
Yep. And an angry coach.
And a massively angry coach. Somehow still gets some results with the coach that reportedly is quite angry. Passionate. Yeah. Passionate. Then that whole drama happens. His heroes come out, some of them, and just smash him for it. Like his heroes.
Yep.
Like it would be like a young NRL player that idolised Joey or something, comes, plays for the Newey Knights, and Joey comes out and says that he's, a bad player, this, that, and the next thing, questions his character.
Yep. Think
about how devastating that would be as a player. You'd be absolutely gutted. And then, so he handles that. Then he has personal stuff go on, incredibly heartbreaking personal stuff with his mother passing away.
Yep.
And then he goes out and does this. Like, think about that journey. It's actually, you would write books about.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Yeah. That's a movie I would watch, 100%. The Pat Cummins 2023 story.
Get it out.
Get it out.
Get it on Netflix.
Over to you, Netflix.
Oh, hope the test. Is there a test?
There's got to be a third series.
Come on, Amazon, Bezos. I know you love this podcast. Pull your head in, Russ. Jeffrey, pull your head in, get the doco done.
Yeah.
Get it done. Pay the boys whatever they need. I mean...
What a series that's going to be, because season 1 was elite.
Yeah.
Bit of a dip in season 2. Season 3, bring it on.
Oh, mate, season 3, I cannot wait for season 3. Because I love cricket, that's why. I will say, though, I actually have been watching way more cricket. Like, when I say that I have never watched cricket before this podcast, I am being 100% honest.
Well, you refused to watch with us last night so you could concentrate at home.
Exactly.
You want to be
Just
distracted.
take notes down. I don't want you fucking plebs ruining me notes. Jesus Christ.
And look at you now.
Fully kitted out.
How was Harbour Life, by the way? Paddy Topping do a good set?
Mate, it was great. Had the game out on my phone. Was Hub Life on Sunday or Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay, well, I had a different
Well,
game
you
on.
tell us.
Anyway,
All sort of blends into one on those sort of weekends.
it
doesn't
really does. It really does. When you're doing a big lift for the nation, it all blends into one. But anyway, brutal truth. As I said, guys, go and grab their products. Take care of yourself, boys. Hey, can I tell you a little story?
Yeah,
Tell you a little story.
go ahead.
So I was of the ilk of moisturising is not for blokes. I was of that ilk when I first met my missus. And look, persistence beats resistance. That's always what she said. She's never said that once, but I'll just say she did. And she just kept hounding me. Moisturise. Now, there's not a day that goes by that I don't moisturise.
Look at you now, one of the most moist blokes I know now. Look at that.
So, blokes, there's nothing wrong with moisturiser. Seriously, do it. It actually feels really nice now. Can't leave the house.
Yeah,
without
I'm actually the same.
Yeah?
When you forget to do it, it plays on my mind all day.
100%. And were you the same with your missus, like saying she was telling you got to moisturise?
Correct. Yeah.
I won't do face masks though. I said that's the line. You can win the battle, but you're not going to win the war, which is a face mask.
I saw a picture of Hammy last night in a face mask over in India from a couple
you're a
of years
face
ago.
mask
It's one
man.
of my favourite
I,
stories of all time.
I showed you that in confidence. No, the reason it came up was because when we were over in India for the Test series at the start of the year, because the boys were commenting on how good does Virat's beard and hair and all that look, and all the Indian guys, they look beautifully manicured.
Yeah.
And I said I actually met and had a haircut treatment from the Indian team barber when we were over there. Yeah. Yep. I got the pictures as well. I'll have to dig them up a little bit later, but he came around to our hotel and he gave me what he does with the players is hair, beard, and he does like you'd love this as a big moisturising guy. It's like a LED kind of like face moisturising treatment that they all get.
No way.
And they rub all this cream all over your face. It's like zinc all over your face, and they rub it off with like these little lasers. And I showed Guru my before shot with
Before and after.
all the zinc
Do we
on.
still have the before and after? Maybe we could throw it up.
Yeah, I'll be.
It's all right. Send it to Matty.
Yeah. I'll dig it out of here. But,
Dig it out here, before and after shot.
Yeah, it just comes back to that point. You've got to moisturise.
You've got to
You really got to
moisturise.
do it. You don't want a dry sort of surface like the indoor pitch. You want like a nice moist surface like the Gabba. You know, that's good. Good bit in it for batter and bowler. That's what you're after.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So get into Coles, get some brutal truth, and support people that support us, guys. Support people that support us. Now, look, huge game of cricket in a few days. I'm sure we're all stinging for it. Hammy.
Yep. Well, I just wanted to round out probably the biggest cricket story from the weekend.
Mate, I've been looking at your computer for about 20 minutes thinking, where the fuck are you going?
Yeah.
This will
Okay.
be great.
Round her out.
The biggest one. Now, this is the bounce back from the Surfers Paradise third grade team over the weekend. We spoke
they
about
bounced back.
their collapse last week against
yeah.
your mob.
Yeah, against Mudgee boys. Yeah, come out and took their fucking lunch.
in the rank. They did.
Yeah.
Did you hear this on the show last week? They basically lost. You're off the grid. You might not have heard. They lost.
Too busy replying to messages saying, come back. SOS.
Well, they had 5 runs to get Surfers Paradise with an over to play and 6 wickets in hand, and proceeded to lose 6 for none and lost the game. But you'll be pleased to know this week they successfully chased 167 off their 40 overs with 1 ball to spare. And the key man really, it didn't start well for him with the ball, was Luke Denham. He went for...
Luke Denham?
Yeah, any relation? It's both spelled and pronounced differently, in fairness, and it's his surname.
It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
So probably not. But anyway, don't let that get in the way of a good match review. He got 1 for 22 off his 2 overs, so a little bit expensive. So he went, you know what, I'm playing off the back foot here. He's a bit like Mitch Marsh when he made that 177, went for none for 50 off his 5, very similar. And he came out with a stick and made 70, and he got him there. They were 7 for 169 off their 39.5 overs. They've bounced back. And,
So, bounce back, baby.
To come back after all of that intense media scrutiny the week before, 1 for 169 off their 39.5 overs. They've bounced back. And, to come back after all that intense media scrutiny the week before, 1 for 169 off their 39.5 overs. They've bounced back. I mean, it just goes to show if Team India are watching, and I know they're big fans of the show, when the pressure's on, you actually can stand up and you can answer your critics. So
now, look, I don't know if they would have been playing in a similar environment of 100,000 people watching, but there still would have been a bit of pressure on the boys.
there would have been extreme pressure on them. And well done to the Surfers Paradise third grade.
I mean, the biggest sports podcast in the country is talking about them. So that's pressure.
And I'm thinking of my mail is that Luke Denham, they're having a chat as him as a potential successor to Rahul Dravid over there. So we'll watch that one with interest.
He should bat once just in like white denim, just for one.
Think of the content.
Like, that's content.
1 million engagements at least. You're welcome, Luke Denham.
Actually, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What was a bigger knock? Head making the nation
Luke
come in
Denham.
their pants? Head making the nation come in their pants? Or Maxwell, his huge knock against Afghanistan?
Well, that is a great question. And in fact, Guru, you broached this one.
I feel very passionate on this one.
Yeah.
You know more about cricket, so you take us away.
Well, I reckon we're singing off the same hymn sheet here. Who's it against? What are the circumstances? Both great knocks, don't get me wrong. And for the highlight reel, Maxwell's they're both exceptional. But when it really counted, I mean, well, they can probably both dine off those knocks for the rest of their life, to be completely fair.
Well, you know what? As Australians, I bloody hope they do dine off it for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely. It's close, but I think given all the extra added attention and the 1.4 billion, all that sort of stuff, I'd probably give it to Travis Head, our boy, honorary grub
Now,
Travis
question though, the circumstances, Maxwell literally saved our backsides, correct?
Yep. Yes.
So that we may have had to meet India earlier if we lost that match, correct?
Yeah.
Now, whereas Head, even though incredible, made a whole nation come in their pants.
Yep.
Could have we still won without him going as big?
Maybe we could have. We still had Maxi to come.
Big boy.
So, I mean, we still had guys in the sheds there that could have got it done, but who knows? It's tough, and we've seen it. We've collapsed so many times over there in the past. It's really hard to chase scores and bat in Indian conditions against quality bowlers like theirs. So, not to say the Afghanistan bowlers weren't quality, because they got a couple of good bowlers too, but I just think...
I'm going Head.
Yeah.
Like, World Cup final, everything is set up for India to win.
Yep.
Like, everything that could possibly give into India was given.
Yep.
And then he comes out and just absolutely explodes.
The only area I'd take points off, he didn't cramp. So that's where Maxwell had him covered.
Yeah. Maybe give some theatrics, Heady.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
That's a little note for next World Cup final in front of 1.4 billion people.
Just give us some content.
Yeah, exactly.
We are content fiends on this show.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I'm Travis big time. 3 for 47. I think the first over we hit 16 runs.
Yep.
And I was going, how good's this? We're going to fly here. Half an hour later, it was 1 a.m. and we were 3 for 47. I just thought, what the fuck am I doing here? This is awful. And, you're right. Maybe we could have won without him, but we'll never know. We won with him. 137 in a World Cup final in India. It's Travis in a knockout victory for me.
Second game he's hit over 100, like World Test final.
Yep.
Comes out, boom, nails it, does it again. And also, isn't it the biggest chase in a World Cup final ever?
Yep, that feels like that would check out.
Now, I'm going to credit Random Stats Guy because that wasn't me.
Yep.
Look, guys, I know you thought that was probably me being Mr. fucking Cricket himself, but that wasn't me that came
I did think, I was like, this guy's cricket knowledge has to have a ceiling somewhere. He can't remember all of these facts just offhand. So it's good to know that you're human. But very impressive stat.
My favourite stat that emerged last night, what was it? The captain got married the year before.
Yeah, now you're going to love this stat.
Yeah, okay.
So
Love
there's
this stat.
4 or 5, there's a graphic doing the rounds. Matty, I'm sure will be able to find it, that something like 5 out of the last 6 World Cup wins, the captain of the team that went on to win it got married the year before. So, I mean, it's on Rohit Sharma for not planning his marriage better. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Is that what cost him? Not for us to say.
Are you willing to do what needs to be done for the big moments? Probably.
That's right.
Probably.
And Paddy was.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, I want an honest rating, boys. Beaks analysis during this World Cup. Honest rating.
Out of
10.
To be honest with you, the proof's in the pudding, isn't it? You go and check the tapes. Out back, we were zipping 2. Odds were at double figures to win the World Cup. We were nearly on our arse against Sri Lanka. We were nearly going home before it had even begun. And Paddy Cummins got the boys around, hooked the Bluetooth speaker up. He goes, boys, come in here, listen to this. I want you to listen to Packer Up Boys with Matty. Dearden's got something to say. Bowled the wickets. You can pinpoint that moment in the campaign. Look at what's happened since. We've gone where no Aussie team has been in 36 years or whatever. So I'm giving it, I'm going to go conservative. I'm going to give you 11 out of 10 for your analysis through the World Cup.
Doesn't feel like that long ago you were calling the MCG the Q. You've come a long way.
The MCQ.
And I remember that day when we filmed the cricket ad down at Rosebery
That
Park.
was actually just a fully mistake. That wasn't. I know what the MCG is, but yeah, we were filming down there.
Yeah, we were filming down there, and I remember when you bowled your first ball, it was exquisite.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Exquisite.
Who was his action like?
Matty?
I don't think.
know
I think Dearden's a one of one in this situation.
It was
Paul-
very... Yeah, I've never seen an action like
put it
it.
this
Paul
way.
Adams sort of octopus in a wind tunnel sort of stuff.
Let us know in the comment section. Do I have permission to talk about cricket going forward? Have I earned the right? Have I earned the right, people? I want to earn the public's, I guess, permission.
Yeah, well, it's a very similar story to Pat Cummins. A couple of weeks ago, people going, I don't know if this guy's earned the right, but now have a look at what's happened since. Very hard to argue with the facts.
There you go.
Obviously, I wasn't here last week. Your multi, what was it, 15 to 1?
There was so
Best.
$15.50 was paying, and I went. Oh man, I can't even remember now. I went Paddy Cummins 3 wickets, Travis 50 or more, and Australia win.
Because I was putting on my bets last night before the game, and I got on all of his bingos, and I was looking at yours. I just thought, I can't leave it. If it wins and I'm not on it.
Yeah.
I said to him, I couldn't think of a worse way to win money than off your fucking wild multi. But got on it just in case.
I'm sort of glad that it didn't go off last night because it was a tough couple of days at Sportsbet after that 15.50 pop went off. We were back on the one-ply toilet paper for a couple of days around the office, but we've only just sort of recovered, so maybe it was for the best.
Look, maybe I'm a company man and I just threw some shit out there. And just, that maybe it would work, maybe it wouldn't. But I maybe had my eye in for this huge clash we've got in a few days.
Yeah.
Huge clash.
Saving your best for what's still to come.
And then brought to you by Sportsbet. It's also time for us to face some music, guys. It's time for us to face some music. Let's get into it. Now, look, there's some controversy around this face of music. Some big fucking controversy.
Yep.
Honestly, citizenships may be on the line.
I'm not angry, I'm just sort of disappointed at the way this
Citizenships.
panned out. Yeah.
Albo, if you're listening, if you want to revoke a bloke's citizenship, we'll talk about it.
If anyone knows how to do that, let us know in the comments because we'd love to follow up on that. So, let me just get my trusty spreadsheet up here. All right, so everyone got the following tip correct. So last week, basically, we picked our winners for the semi-finals and also who was going to win the final because we didn't know who was playing at that point. Everybody got Australia to beat South Africa in the semi. So everyone's getting a point at least. So well done to everybody there. We're going to start with myself. Probably wasn't my best week of Face the Music, but we'll get it out of the way early. So the Aussies head-to-head. I had the following ones wrong. I had Mitch Marsh top run score against South Africa. He got a duck. Had Adam Zampa top wicket taker. He went wicketless. Had Black Caps who upset India. India won by 70 runs. I had Rachin Ravindra to be the top Kiwi run scorer. He made 13. Daryl Mitchell made 134. And then I had Mitch Santner to be the top Kiwi wicket taker. He went wicketless as well. So, but then I had Australia to win the World Cup in the final. So more on that later. That could be that could be big in the context of Face the Music. Dearden, you had Australia beat South Africa. You didn't pick the obligatory Australia 13 plus. Thank God you didn't because they only won by...
there's a reason why I didn't.
Yeah.
Because we didn't win 13 plus.
They only won by 3 runs.
Exactly.
In that one. You had Paddy Cummins top wickets. Him and Stark had 3 both. So I gave you half a point.
Come on.
Gave you half a point.
Oh.
That's how it works. If you're betting top wicket taker and they both get on the same, you get half the odds. Half a point. Then you had Marnus to be the top run scorer against his native South Australia. You had that wrong. And then you copied my homework for the Black Caps game, and that came back to bite you because I was zipped from 3 there.
But that was in the name of content then. That was a joke. So I should have put cricket first. I didn't. I put content first.
You did.
I
mean, it clipped up well. I think we used that as the clip for the week. It was good. Yeah, it went well. Then you had Australia as the World Cup winner as well. Good stuff.
You know why? Because I love my country.
Getting around your nation. Yeah, exactly. I would have thought everyone here would, but apparently not. Then to finish off, Matty had Australia to beat South Africa. Head top run scorer against South Africa. Correct. Cummins top wicket taker, equally Stark, half a point. India to beat the Black Caps. You're the only one who took India. Yeah. So you got a point there. You had Shubman Gill top run scorer, wrong. You had Bumrah top wicket taker for India. He took 1. Shami took 7. So 6 off there. And then you had India to be the World Cup winner. How do you sleep at night?
I don't know. Seriously. As I said, Albo, I know you love this podcast, but if there's a way that we can deport this bloke to some kind of, I don't know, other land.
Yeah, I know you're both Souths fans, but, you know.
Yeah, I mean, put that aside.
Put that aside.
It should be a nation first.
It should be
Australia first, then your rugby league club. Can you please explain yourself, Matty?
By the way, at 3 for 47 last night, he looked both of us deadpan in the eye and said, "I told you so."
Oh, no, I didn't. That is absolute mayonnaise.
Went like this.
Oh my god! I actually thought he started watching some Bollywood.
He started doing this, and then he went like this. Dabbed in front of everyone.
Holy shit! Look, I was hearing whispers that he was watching a bit of Bollywood.
Yeah.
I was hearing whispers that he was going all the way with this stuff.
Well, I hope he was, because might come in handy for him. Explain yourself.
Yeah, I got nothing to say. I actually woke up a bit annoyed at myself this morning, like knowing that I'm going to have to come here and literally face the music. Like there were people, I got a couple of deems as well, and last night in my state, I replied to someone's comment, and I was a little bit salty.
What did you say?
Oh no, they were just like, "Oh, Matty, blah blah blah." And I'm like, no, I didn't want to be accused of not supporting Australia. But anyway, that was last night. I can take the joke now. Yeah, I'm very upset with myself. But
what the problem with that is you always put your nation first, regardless of if your inner voice is going, "We don't stand a chance." You just put your nation first, because that's called Australian spirit.
It is. That's exactly what it is. So look, based on what you've done, Matty, I've made the extreme but necessary call to impose an additional 1 point deduction on anyone who backed India in the final.
Wow!
And I've decided to reward anyone who backed Australia and backed their nation in with a bonus point for them for picking that correctly. So with some of those amendments taken into consideration,
very fair amendments.
Very fair amendments. Here's the results for this week. Dearden Dr. Doolittle Kemp coming in at the top on 3.5 points.
Mr. Cricket, baby.
Mr. Cricket, Mr. Racing.
Have I not? I've won a couple of weeks now, haven't I?
You have. He's up and about. Get around him.
I get it. I just get it.
Well, this is your part of the year to shine. This is cricket season. This is where you do your best work.
I know, mate. In the NRL season, I don't know why people even listen to me.
Yeah.
It's cricket where I do my best work.
Exactly. And it shows. Then myself, Hammy the Bingo Bandit Goodman, 3 points for me this week. Not a great week for the bingo, but an all right week for my tipping, so that's okay. And then Matty the Mercenary Buxton selling his soul to India for the week, 2.5 points. So
can you tell us what the check is? Like, how much did you get paid by Big India?
not enough. Not enough for this show.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You did say last week that you would gladly get up and dance if need be.
That's it.
For the nation.
Yep.
And
Please tell me you've got the correct kind of music.
I do.
Okay.
So you're going to be getting up here to dance for 5 seconds for your nation.
Look, this dance is going to prove I'm still a proud Australian. I'm still a proud Australian.
But no, this earns back the love of your nation, so you better give it all you got.
Yep.
Otherwise, Albo's going to be on the phone soon.
Have you
Albo's
got the
calling
trophy?
right
Oh, he's got it. All right.
Set it up last night.
He set it up last night, as soon as we got the winning runs. All right.
Okay, for the nation.
For the
Get
nation.
the citizenship back.
This will get your Aussie citizenship back. You ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh, that's the best.
There you go.
There we go.
You're welcome.
There
You're back,
we go.
buddy.
There we go.
There you go. That is Face and Music.
The hips don't lie.
They don't.
They do not lie. He's back Australian.
Yeah.
He's an Australian again.
Yep.
We respect it.
Yep.
Now, are we going to do any more tips?
Yeah, we got to have something up our sleeve for next week, I suppose.
Sure.
And
Can I give you one really quick one?
Yeah.
Newcastle race 1 tomorrow. The Guru's back in action.
Oh, okay, get on it, son. Get on there.
$12.
Is he going to finish this one? Or?
I doubt it. Based on previous runs, I highly doubt it.
Okay.
You know, I have bet on this horse in 12 of its last 13 runs. The only one I didn't bet on is the one that it won.
Are you going to be betting on it tomorrow?
Yes, I will.
Okay, so steer clear. The Guru
Steer
there.
clear.
If you don't like money, get behind the Guru horse.
Jess Taylor on board. Good things.
Okay, one to watch. All right, so what are we going to pick for next week? So we've had the curtain raise of the World Cup. We're now into the real tournament that we've all been looking for.
Separates the men from the boys.
Separates the men from the boys. Matty has said that the studio will be open at 12:30am Friday for us to come in and watch this one as well. This is the T20 series against India again. So that's great. The boys get to go and they've already been in India for 3 months. They now get to celebrate for 3 days and then go straight into more cricket over there. I'm sure that's
also, they get to play a team with a nation of 1 billion, basically saying if you lose this, you've got to be expelled from the
Pretty much.
from the country.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what we're staring at. So that's what's coming up. So we'll just get a winner of game one, top run scorer, top wicket taker.
Okay.
And we need another little tiebreaker because if you just got those three, everyone gets the same score.
Okay.
So we're going to go to your boys in action today, Kempy, in the Marsh Cup, Western Australia versus South Australia at the
Ooh,
Wacker.
my boys.
So I'll just get a head-to-head in that as well. But do you want the new ball for the T20 game? Or do you want to just sort of sit back and sort of see how it all unfolds?
I'll get the new ball.
Yeah?
I'll get the new ball.
All right, so who do you think wins in your top run, top wicket?
Australia to win.
Yep.
I'm going to go Zampa. Wickets. Most wickets.
Okay.
And I'm going to go... it's my boy Manus, like he was part of the duet that was, a beautiful thing to watch, but now it's his time to step forward.
I just got to...
He doesn't play T20?
You've had a lot on your plate. A lot of cricket to cover.
doesn't
Lately.
play
You're probably a bit fatigued. I don't think he's in the T20 squad.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Look, when you're fucking as deep as I am,
Yep.
sometimes your blinkers can be on.
Yep.
And I just was thinking of my nation and Manus' incredible
That's
game last
fine.
night.
That's fine.
And so that's why I said
I'm not
that.
having a go at you. I'm just sort of...
But I'm explaining to the audience so
Yeah.
they know that they don't doubt Mr. Cricket.
Yep.
So who is in the T20 side?
We've actually got a...
If you want to run us through some names.
Yeah, a former favourite son has been recalled to the squad to captain the side. Matty Wade is going to be back in the team after a couple of years out. So he's going to be over there.
Zampa playing?
Zampa will be in the squad. Wonder whether they'll give him a rest. But
Okay, let's redo this whole thing. Australia to win, obviously.
Yeah.
But give us the squad.
I'd probably have to pull the squad up, to be honest.
Oh, really?
I got it.
Oh, you got it?
Okay, there's 15 names. We got Wade, Behrendorff, Sean Abbott, Tim David, Nathan Ellis, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Spencer Johnson, Glenn Maxwell, Tavir Sanger, Matt Short, Steve Smith, Marcus Stoinis, David Warner, Adam Zampa.
There you go. Yep. You can have Zampa, and if he doesn't play, you just get whoever the spinner is that comes in for him.
Okay, Zampa, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go Warner.
Yep.
For runs.
Nice.
Warner for runs.
Yeah, don't mind that.
And South Australia, obviously.
Yep, your boys. Go Redbacks.
Who's South Australia playing?
WA.
I'll take WA. I'm going to take Dave Warner as well. Who are the bowlers in this team?
Behrendorff,
Abbott, yeah.
I'll take Abbott.
Behrendorff sounds like a Lord of the Rings character.
Lord of the 30-yard ring.
Love it.
In a strange way. Great bowler in the power play. So, all right, sweet.
Yep.
I'm going to... Is Tim Davis... He'll play, won't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tim Davis for runs.
Yep. Two first names.
Yeah, first names. And I'll go the Lord of the Rings. I'll go Behrendorff.
Oh, I was going to take the Lord of the Rings. Canberra boy, one of my fellow Canberra brethren. I'm going to go. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go Tanvir Sanger, the other leg spinner that was in the squad there. He's worn the orange bib with great aplomb the whole way through the World Cup. He'll be chomping at the bit to roll a few leggies out, I reckon, over there.
Absolutely agree, mate.
And also, if I wasn't clear, I'm definitely tipping Australia.
Okay.
Definitely tipping Australia. And I'll go WA.
Hey, look, you're going to have to wear this for a while. You're going to have to wear it for a while. And you know what? You kind of deserve it.
Yeah.
Kind of deserve it.
Exactly.
I don't know what I was... Like this morning when I was like going through it, I was like, I'm in a no-win situation. If I get the tip right, who cares? You tipped $1.30.
Well, you're even
India
more of a dog
wins.
then because we're angry and we're going to take our anger out on someone.
It was a no-win situation. It was just a really, really poorly played by me.
You know what you did? You put your selfish needs of wanting to beat your mates above your nation.
And it backfired spectacularly.
It did. I hope you've learned. We're here to learn. So.
And what is Australia all about? Mateship.
Yep.
So it's all connected, Matty.
Yeah.
Well, it's a learning lesson for you. Hopefully you're not a dog in a week's time.
Yeah. Something to think about. I'm going Australia, Tanvir Sanger, and I'm going to go the skipper, Matty Wade, back in the team.
Yep.
I'll get around him to get some runs.
Yep.
And I'm going to go the Redbacks as well. Go Redbacks.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's in the Redbacks actually in my blood. My father Gary played one season for the Redbacks, so I feel obliged to follow your boys in.
Oh, that's the best. That is brought to you by Sportsbet, the best in the business, baby. Face the music. If you're going to have a punt, you do it with Sportsbet. As I said, the best in the business. Always gamble responsibly, guys. Don't go crazy. You win some, you lose more. Just bet what you can afford. But yeah, always a massive thank you to the absolute legends over at Sportsbet for supporting the platform. Support people that support us, guys. Let's get into some rugby league chat. Huge news. Not really huge news, but we're in the depths, boys. We're in the depths. So we'll run with it. Wayne Bennett has been quoted saying the Dolphins will be interested in Ezra Mam. He said, if he comes onto the market, we are interested. He can currently negotiate for 2025. So basically, he can negotiate right now. The Dolphins are also reportedly interested in joining race for Tom Dearden. But we'll talk about Ezra Mam first. I was seeing reports saying that he's like agreed to terms, all that kind of stuff. Again, not from any reputable sources. It was more just on the internet. Look, it's of course. And they would have the money to do it. That's the biggest concern for Broncos, is that they absolutely would have the money to blow Brisbane out of the water. The Wayne Bennett factor is a thing to a degree because although he won't be at the club, he'll be in the negotiations, I'd assume, because his last year is this year. So that's the one bit, the one piece that makes me quite comfortable with the situation. And, you know, you may clip this up if he signs. It's the fact that Wayne's not going to be there in 2025. If Wayne was going to be there 2025, I would be really concerned. The only way I think they get him to the club is if they pay massive amounts of money. I'm talking like $1 million to $1.2 million. Then I could understand why Ezra would be, you know, enticed by that. But I think this is smart footy by the Dolphins. They've already got Herbie. They already got Tom. I call him Tom because my mate's, but his name's Tom Schlegler. Why not? Like, why not have a crack at Ezra Mam? And I tell you what, if they landed Ezra Mam, holy shit, that's a big blow. What do you reckon, Guru?
That was my initial reaction when I saw this headline, just thinking, you know, like every player in this comp I look at and go, you know what, they'd probably be better under Wayne Bennett. But fuck, Ezra Mam under Wayne Bennett.
Oh,
you just know he's the sort of guy Wayne would get the best out of.
Then what he did with Cody Walker.
Exactly right, yeah. Then it dawned on me, even like what he did with Milford back in the day, like he's got a history. Then it dawned on me, of course, Wayne wouldn't be the coach, which I'm the same. I think Ezra, what the Brisbane Broncos are building up there at the moment, and it's the Broncos, I think he would be mad to leave to, you know, and I hope the Dolphins do very well, but history tells us that when Wayne Bennett leaves, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Rabbitohs.
Well, I mean, halfway through last year, we were sitting here going, geez, haven't the Rabbitohs done well without Wayne?
Yeah.
Look how that played out.
Yep. We see literally the big issue with Wayne leaving is the power vacuum.
Yep.
It is, he leaves, it's like, you know, you could go as serious as talking about geopolitics. If a big power leaves quickly, it's replaced by usually fighting factions saying, I want to be the guy that says this is the direction we have, or I want to be the person that says this is the direction we head. And what happened at the at the Rabbitohs? Literally that exact thing happened this year after Wayne Bennett left, which is like, you look at the Dolphins and you go, you would hope that they would be able to combat that by already having Wolf as the head coach heading forward. You'd also hope, I guess, the fact that they're a new club, so maybe they don't have as much baggage from yesteryear as an NRL club, and they've got the people, because they're there at the start, they are the ones already in power. But again, when you look at history, he leaves, there's always a power fight, always a power struggle. Dragons, you know, there was decisions by the big dogs that they thought that they could make these huge sweeping calls. And I mean, Dragons wasn't even a point of them basically almost okay with Wayne moving on. You look at the Knights, look what happened there with Tinkler, with Wayne, absolute fell apart. At the Broncos, look what happened. You know what I mean? Like, it falls apart.
Yeah, there's a long history of it. And I think Ezra Mam, I genuinely think he'd be mad to leave the Broncos right now.
I agree.
And I know, you know, I've had people say to me, you know, Adam Reynolds will retire in a year or so, but sure. But the Brisbane Broncos are back to being the Broncos.
Yeah.
Name me a halfback in this competition that wouldn't jump at the opportunity to play inside Ezra Mam, Reece Walsh, and behind that forward pack.
For the next minimum 5 years. Minimum 5 years.
Like, if you're a good halfback in the NRL, like, you're taking unders to play in that Brisbane side, in my opinion.
Agreed. And, you know, the next best seven coming through to play at the Broncos is like playing, you know, especially with like the Reece Walsh, Paddy Carrigan, Payne Haas situation. We're talking about the biggest superstars in the game. Like Payne Haas, one of the biggest names in the game. Paddy Carrigan, this year I think he has become one of the biggest names in the game.
Yep.
Reece Walsh, I mean, it's undeniable what this kid is, you know, about. And then you go and what convinced me that the old Broncos are back, and look, if they fall off a cliff, I'm happy to say that I was wrong, but it's their depth that convinced me. It's the fact that they're bringing in guys like Dean Mariner to just go slot straight in. Yes, Herbie Farnworth's going to be a big loss, but Selwyn will probably go to the centre. Dean will be on the wing. Vice versa, could be the opposite. That's when I know they're back at their best. That although he may not be as good as Herbie initially, he's definitely going to do a job, and he has the potential to be as good as Herbie Farnworth. That's when you know, I reckon.
You know, like you might even find in 2 or 3 years, you know, as Ezra, Reece, Carrigan, these guys develop and mature in their game, like they might not need a superstar halfback. They might just need a guy to direct. Like you look at what, you know, the impact that Chad Townsend had up at the Cowboys. Like even if they were to just get a guy like him in 2 or 3 years' time.
But you know what's funny though? Like the ironic thing is Reno wasn't a superstar halfback when he went up there.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's like, even though we look
fair.
back now and we go, he definitely was, because he's, you know, obviously Rabbitohs aren't going as well without him. Heading up there, he was, I think, you know, on 700-800K. Whereas right now, if you took what Reno did with the Broncos and then de-aged him by a few years, he'd probably get $1 million. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree, man. Of course, I think it's perfect case scenario we get a really good 7, whether it's a junior coming through but maybe we do just need a guy that can kick well, tackle well, and the other boys can lead us around the park.
And you find, you know, when a halfback retires or leaves, you find most teams are going out trying to find a halfback. Mate, I reckon the Broncos will be sitting back. Halfbacks will be coming to them.
For sure. Managers will be going and going, I want to get my
100%,
player underneath. What do you reckon, Hammy?
I don't reckon Ezra Mann's going anywhere. For the fact that Wayne won't be there beyond that next year, I mean, yeah, he'd go if he was there, but you don't know who you're going into, who's going to be coaching you. Why would you leave as well? The Broncos, they're up and about. You know, look at the Panthers. They lost the grand final, went on to win the next 3. Like, I don't think they're going to be that far off competing regularly for those sort of titles. So take a bit less, win a couple of comps, and then have a think about it after that.
He's 21 years old. If you thought fever pitch, and it would have been fever pitch this year for the Broncos, but if these boys get sustained success, if they thought it was fever pitch this year, wait until you've been at the top of the table in grand finals for 3 or 4 years. That city, like, it is like, seriously, you can't describe how much they do get behind them when they're going well.
I think the other big thing is that, you know, you got Ezra Mann, the 5'8" of the Broncos, you know, and who's going to be the guy trying to convince him to stay? The greatest 5'8" the Broncos have ever had. Like, and you look at Ezra, like, I would guess off the dome, he's played 45 first grade games. He's arguably had, you know, one of the best grand final performances to not win ever.
Well, I'm just like, the last time a 20-year-old, or however old he is, played like that in the grand final.
Never.
Like,
it's
you
like,
know,
that's off
Benji 05, the only one that springs to mind for me.
Yeah, true. But that's who we're talking about.
But also when you consider, you know, in my opinion, it was against one of the greatest teams we've ever seen.
Oh, for sure. And it was like, single-handedly got the Broncos back into
unbelievable.
The game. Yeah. Craziness. I think he stays. I think this is more just the manager being shrewd, trying to squeeze the Broncos for as much as he can. And it's the Broncos trying to be shrewd because they understand when that Reece Walsh negotiation comes back around, they must be sitting there just going, fuck, this is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Because he's on unders now. If he continues on playing as he is playing right now, the money that is going to be offered to this guy, like the bums on seats that he'll bring, it's going to be stupid money, like genuine stupid money.
And touch wood, but I just can't see a reason why Reece Walsh wouldn't continue to do what he's doing. He's got the pack, he's got the halfback. I just can't see how it doesn't play out that way.
Well, I mean, he should get better. He really should get better.
100%. And like as we said, you know, after the grand final, a lot of lessons to learn from that game, and I think that it's pretty evident Reece Walsh, he learns lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, understandable from the Dolphins. I think that would this be as big of a story if it was, you know, mid-year? Probably not. They're basically saying what every club would say is if he comes on the market, 100% we're keen, or would nearly every club. But I think Ezra stays. I just think as well, I know a lot of fans don't agree with me on this, but I just think that the profile you can build at a powerhouse club like the Roosters, like Penrith, like Brisbane, there is a monetary value if the player is smart enough to deliver on that. And can you imagine if Ezra Mam over the next 3 years continues playing the way he is, because Ezra Mam actually reminds me the most of the late 90s, early 2000s of any Brisbane Broncos
He's
current
lights
player.
out footy.
He reminds me of the golden era the most of any player currently playing for the Broncos. Imagine if he becomes that guy in this day and age, how big his profile will become. And we're just getting started. So I know that people get a bit like, oh, come on, mate, you can do that at other clubs. I do think there are a few clubs that are a little bit different, that have a little bit extra push when it comes to that. I mean, it's changed a little bit, but like Broncos had Friday night games forever and Thursday. You know what I mean? They've had all the best spots on TV because they have the most viewers.
Yeah.
Whereas you go to another club that may be big, but they don't get as much eyeballs because they're not put in the position the way the Broncos are. Your profile just doesn't get. Look, okay. Reece Walsh at the Warriors goes to Broncos. He's on 400,000 followers on Instagram, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that shows you, and it's not like he wasn't playing poorly at the Warriors. He was playing well. He's one of their better players, but it's just that, yeah, it's big at Brisbane. It's
for sure. And I mean, I watch that Matty John's show every week, and I always look at Gordon Tallis and go, geez, like I wonder if he would have what he has if he didn't go to the Broncos. Like if he played out a career at the Dragons, I think his life plays out completely differently.
Yeah,
it's just the reality of it.
Yeah, it's a good point. Over 400,000 followers on Instagram. And I know, like, it's not the only metric, but to the young audience, it kind of is nearly the only metric. Now, Tommy Dearden with the Dolphins, I actually think this suits more. I actually think, as in what the club needs, the chances of it happening, the Dearden to the Dolphins could suit more if they are chasing him as a 7. Because the Cowboys are in this really weird spot. They've got this great roster. Can they win a comp? I do think they've got the roster to win a comp, but I don't think they're as close to winning a comp as the Broncos right now. I personally think Dearden, I think he stays. I think that there's a chance of him leaving, but I think he stays. But in regards to a suiting to the club, I actually think that he probably suits what the Dolphins need right now, maybe a little bit better than Ezra Mam, because Ezra Mam is an out-and-out 6, I believe. Whereas Tommy Dearden, I do think, has the potential to shift into that 7. Ezra Mam does too, but I think if you did that with Ezra Mam, you're taking away his best asset, which is he is the tip of the spear. You don't want him to be the hem. But I also don't think the Dolphins land Dearden unless it's a huge offer that he just can't refuse.
I think he would be a fantastic fit there, though. I think the Dolphins, what they've shown in their first season is that they're going to hang in every contest. They might not win everything, but that's Tommy Dearden.
Yeah,
down to a T. I think he'd be a fantastic fit, but. Yeah, if I was the Cowboys, I'd be moving. I reckon Tommy Dearden's in for a big couple of years coming up. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the Cowboys obviously brought Jake Clifford back. They've got young Tom Duffy as well, and obviously Chad's getting older. But yeah, it's interesting up there. Like I do wonder if bringing Jakey Clifford back is a bit of a insurance policy just in case.
Yeah. Do you think that's more of a Townsend insurance policy?
Yeah, it could be both. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I think it's interesting that. Jake Clifford's come back because I think people forget as well. Like a couple of years ago, like he obviously went to Newcastle, and man, I remember it very clearly. Those first few games to Newcastle,
killed it.
We were sort of going like, he wouldn't have Dally M.
Well, he was on top of the Dally M.
He was killing it, and he was looking unbelievable. And then the Newcastle season fell into a heap of shit, as we all know. Shout out to you all.
And just for context, people. Guru got absolutely annihilated because he said Knights aren't going to have a good year pretty much.
I got 3 apologies though, so that was good. But like Jake Clifford, when he was coming through at the Cowboys, like he was an absolute weapon.
Yeah,
up there. He was incredible coming through at the juniors. So I do think Tommy Dearden stays, and I hope he stays in North Queensland. I hope that because it wasn't that long ago, Tom Dearden was essentially, the Brisbane Broncos didn't want him. Cowboys gave him an opportunity, and look what he's done with it.
Killed it. I think the Clifford, if you can keep Dearden, that's a decent combination.
100%.
I think Clifford's got a lot more footy in him. I really, really do. What do you reckon, Dearden? Do you reckon he'll land anywhere?
Good news if everything's coming up Dearden because the Dragons are keen on him as well.
Yeah.
Dolphins now.
It's a great time.
Wherever he goes, it's going to be big payday for Tom Dearden.
Yeah, absolutely. And also because he's done so well in the Origin arena already.
Yep.
And he has the mantra of the tough stuff, and a lot of clubs like what are we trying to buy? We're trying to buy a guy that we can build a club around. Like Dearden has already kind of shown that he has that about him.
Yep.
Now I think Ezra Mam, we need to wait a year or two to see, is he a club building guy or is he the tip of the spear guy? Ezra absolutely has the potential to be a club building guy, whereas I think Dearden, because he's had an extra year or so, has kind of proven he's made of the right stuff to build a team around.
Yep.
Do you think Tom Dearden, is he a possibility to play Origin next year? Like to be a first, like, and obviously DCE's done a tremendous job. He's been fantastic. But, I would have said the same about KP and Dane Gagai last year.
Well, I was going to say, any other coach, no chance. But Billy Slater, he ruthless.
I reckon he quite possibly could. I reckon he's every chance to go Dearden or, I think he's probably further down the pecking order. But, even a Sam Walker, I wouldn't be surprised if he does go with a different halfback.
Well, the one thing we know is he is ruthless enough. KP, that call has to go down in history, because it's not like KP went back and played terribly.
Stank it up, no.
He literally won the
opposite.
Yeah. And yet he made the right call to win what he needed to win.
And even regardless of what KP did at Clubland, he's an Origin player.
Yeah.
He keeps me awake at night, staying in the Origin period.
It's one of the craziest calls ever, seriously. When you look back on it all and you see everything unpanned and blah, blah, blah.
But even you look back at not picking Dane Gagai. Look at the season he had. And then you look at the centres that Billy picked and they were unbelievable.
Yeah. Putting Hamisa on the centres, you're he had one game there, whatever. He's not even playing centre at club. Just, crazy calls. I think both players stay at their respective clubs. Yep. I really do. I think that the clubs will move heaven and earth to keep them, within reason. They'll be able to get more money out of the clubs, but Broncos are in a good position. Cowboys, although they had a disappointing year last year, they got a bloody good roster. I think they're up there in the top 3 or 4 for most Origin players. So it's not a bad roster to be able, especially if Dearden's young, Robson's relatively young, Scotty Drinkwater relatively young. That they've got key players that have quite a bit of footy left
and
in them.
Of those guys, like you said, they've got a lot of Origin players, but they've got guys there that are just waiting their time to get in.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for other guys holding them back, they'd be there.
Anything in Dearden wanting to go back a little bit closer to home, or not really a factor? I know it's the same state and everything, but Dolphins is back a bit closer to Brisbane and
maybe
all that sort of thing.
Maybe there could be something in that.
Yeah,
there could be something in that. It's a good shout. You just never know. You just really never know.
I could see him more likely going to the Dolphins and Dragons.
For sure. Yeah. I think if he does go somewhere, probably be Queensland, unless he gets a monster off from Dragons.
He actually went to school in Mackay until year 10.
Really?
So then he moved to down. So he's been everywhere.
It's a country boy like me.
Yeah.
Okay, some hit transfer whispers. We talked about Dearden. Dragons making a serious play for Dearden, Lukey and Connor Tracy. Interesting, all this Dragons news, because you don't want to become, no offence, the Tigers, where you're linked to every single player. But
where's the HR?
You don't want to be linked to every player.
It's sitting over there.
Expect an email.
Yeah. You can email me, mate. Get back to you. I'll take your concerns on board. And we'll put in strategies. You want some strategies?
I'm looking forward to it.
Now, what I do like, though, is at least they're connected to some big players. How many years for the Dragons where we're there is no connection to any big superstar players? Now we're seeing a little bit of connection. For now, I don't mind it, because it seems like they're in the market. What do you reckon, Guru?
Yeah, I think they're going to do very well to land one of these names.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But we weren't even connecting players within a club for a couple of years.
Yeah.
There was literally no, when did you ever read an article of superstar player connected to the Dragons? You didn't see it. You didn't see it.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is at least it looks like there's some.
They're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the name that stands out for me there is Connor Tracy. Fuck, I want someone to sign him and just put him in your football team. I don't care what position you pick him in. Just put him in your footy side. Yeah. I think he's such a good player and so undervalued at the moment.
They could use a centre probably if if Lomax plays at fullback. I will say, and speaking of Dragons, obviously being connected to Joe Manu, I'm going to make a call here. Huge call. Suoli'i and Union. I've already called that fucking ages ago. So if that does happen, Suoli'i and Union, don't go ahead. Suoli'i stays at the Roosters, which takes Manu's big contract that was maybe coming from the Roosters and taking over Tedesco. Manu ends up at the Dragons on a massive wicket.
You reckon he gets down there?
I reckon that's because if Suoli'i does decide to not go to Union, the Roosters are not going to allow him to go to any club. So they've got two options. They either promise Suoli'i the fullback position from Teddy when he retires, or they promise it to Joey Manu, because I don't think Joey Manu is going to sit down that centre for any more of his career.
Yeah.
Period. None. Plus, obviously, the contract he could get, he'd probably get 1.2 million at the Dragons.
Yep.
Which it would be, I know a lot of people don't think I'm crazy and they all think that Manu's on 800 grand. I know we all don't know. It's private information. I don't think he's on $800,000. I don't think they could fit that with the backline that they've got and the players they've got. I don't think they could fit Joey on 800 grand. I think he's on the low end 600, maximum in my opinion 700 right now. So 1.1, 1.2, you're looking at nearly doubling your contract. And also he's getting to the age where that big contract's going to arrive. I reckon that there's a chance the Roosters go, huh? Because Joey can actually negotiate with other clubs at the moment, can't he? Yes. So the fact that hasn't been done yet, I think the Roosters are still going, Suoli, what's doing there? What, are you staying, you going? And I think that they would go, all right, well, Suoli's only 19 years old. It's crazy that he's still only like 19 years old. His potential is crazy.
Like we've been talking about him for 5 years.
Yeah. Joey Manu, incredible player. Golden boot at fullback, we all know that. But he has played fullback. It hasn't really worked as we hoped. So maybe we go, okay, we've got a tough choice to make here. Joey, go get your huge contract, mate. You've been an incredible servant to the club. Joey goes, yep, sweet. I get to play fullback at the Dragons, get paid a mozza. Suoli comes back in and then stays on as an outside back until Teddy retires, takes that fullback spot. Yeah,
I think it's really interesting. I think for the Dragons, I don't know if Joey Manu is the right signing for them, to be honest with you. If it causes a domino effect, they're able to get other guys off the back of him, then yes. But as you just said, when Joey Manu plays fullback, and he's obviously going to have to adapt his game and whatnot, but I just think it makes you very one-dimensional when he's playing fullback. And if you put him into that Dragons side, do they improve? Sure. But I think they become so Joey Manu-centric. And you go up against the good teams in this competition, they take away your best strike weapon in a heartbeat. Now, that's not to say Joey Manu can't improve his game and add things to it, but mate, I would rather pay overs for Tommy Dearden than get Joey Manu as my fullback if I'm the Dragons.
Yeah, I mean, would it be a decision of either or? Could they potentially get, Dearden for a 900, a million, then a fullback for 1.2? Because it's not like their money in their spine's going anywhere else.
Yeah, fair. If they have to put all their eggs in the basket of getting Joey Manu there, I think it's a mistake personally.
I think that it just all depends on the market pressures. Like, okay, let's say they can't get Dearden. Let's say Dearden's not even in the... Then they go, well, it's better than nothing. We'd rather have Joey than go, no, because... Like, put it this way, that's a better footy side with Joey Manu on it, correct?
It is, yep.
Yes, okay, is it as good as the top 4, top 6 sides? Does it become very Joey-centric? Of course, we get that. But chances are Joey will I think he'll improve. But also, you've got to take a stepping stone to that next level. And I think it'd be a gamble, but I think that team's a much better side with Joey in it. Unless, as you said, if you've got a Dearden in the market and you've got a choice between throwing a mozza at Dearden or a mozza at Joey Manu, you go for the half, in my opinion. But if the halves are no longer on the market, I think that you just make the call. I just think you go, boom, let's get some energy in this side. Let's get some energy in the transfer market.
Just take the best you can get.
Just take the best you can get. Joey could get him into the final. Like, Joey's good enough to get him in the top 8 one year. And then you go, like, I'm not saying they definitely would. What I'm saying is he's of the caliber of player that could take you from 9th, 10th, losing a couple of games you shouldn't, to winning those games and getting into the 8. In my opinion. What do you reckon, Hammy?
As I was just going to say, as a Roosters fan, who would you rather see stay, Suoli'i or Manu?
I hope Manu stays. He's always been a Rooster, through and through. So I hope Manu does stay. And obviously, this is all hinging on Suoli not going to Union.
Yeah, guys, this is all pure speculation.
It all falls on that domino falling first. But which I know if I was him, I would not be going. But that's each their own. I hope Manu does stay. I hope it sort of plays out that Suoli's made his decision to go to Union. I hope he does go. I hope they keep Manu.
Is it concerning that he hasn't re-signed yet? And Roosters are renowned for getting that done before he even gets on the...
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it is surprising.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Hammy?
Yeah, well, it's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Suoli'i thing, but I don't reckon he's going to... I think he's going to go.
You think he's going to go?
Take the cash.
Yeah, okay.
It's a lot of cash.
Oh, for sure. Jesus.
Yeah, it'll be a grind, but very hard to say no to that sort of money.
Wouldn't that just be the final dagger for Union?
If you said no.
Yeah.
Well, I've spoken to some people in some car parks.
You must have spoken to some people. You've got...
But no, I called it before I'd spoken to some people.
Okay.
And you can check the tape. I only recently have spoken to it. Check the tape. I called it ages ago. But I spoke in the last few days, I've spoken to some people, whispers, I'm hearing whispers, that maybe there's a mutual kind of, hey, listen, bro, it's fucking shit over here. And we've got a lot going on. and I'm not ready for a relationship. You know, I literally just got my heart broken by a bold guy that hates the nation, and I'm trying to recover, and I'm looking for a fling, but $1.5 million is not a fling.
Wait, so you're saying rugby are saying that?
I personally believe, and now I don't know whether it's true, I personally believe both parties are eyeing each other off, awkwardly going, this isn't working.
Cold feet.
They're walking down the aisle and they go, you know what? I fucking actually hate your guts. Actually, I don't know about that extreme. They actually probably still like each other.
Yeah.
But they don't get married. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They stay friends.
They stay friends.
Question is then, who do they marry?
I think that money needs to just go back into development and getting things sorted. Like, I really, like, it's not going to change anything for rugby union.
I think you're right. It does need to go back in development, but I reckon with that World Cup looming, I reckon they'll...
Well, look at this. The dominoes. We're going to talk about it later. We'll talk about it now because we're in the depths of the preseason right now, off-season. Hamish McLennan just got the sack. He was the guy, I'm pretty sure, that took care of that deal. Now, all of a sudden, Rugby Australia hasn't a reason to go, look, he was the one that got the deal. We're not really on board with it. I'm the new CEO. There's outs for them to take with Suolii's management. Suolii will absolutely... Like, the thing that... Like, I know people talk about the money. I get it. It's a lot of money. Suolii's going to be rich regardless. Like, he is going to be rich. Yeah. So it's like, how rich is rich? Yeah, like, he's 19.
Yeah.
If he... Let's say he doesn't take the union contract. You telling me there aren't clubs that wouldn't give him $1 million right now? I reckon there's quite a few clubs that would give him $1 million. Now, how you have to ask yourself, what is your brand worth as a player or a person in 3 years' time by playing in the NRL compared to playing in the union? Is it worth $1.5 million more than what it would be in union? It absolutely is. Because, and I don't say this disrespectfully, we don't know barely any of the Australian Wallabies people. NRL's never been bigger. You'll be able to generate more than $1.5 million worth of value long term by staying in league right now. Now, if Union turn everything around and make this incredible turnaround and head into the World Cup, that's completely different. It actually flips. Like, if Union come out in 4 years and go deep into a World Cup and he's a part of it, it flips on its head and he becomes more valuable than he would have been in NRL. Go to Europe, all that kind of great stuff. But at the moment, it's not like that in my opinion.
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting the other day, the Roosters, they put out a reel or something for their new kit for this year. And like, you look at all the superstars on the Roosters roster, and it was Suolii they chose to be the face of it all.
2 reasons.
19.
He's not going anywhere. Second one, he's hot.
Hot as fuck. Yeah.
No, but it is
and that's a dangerous combo.
That when you're not going anywhere, you're hot. You bring people to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, it's science.
But you're right, Gary. Like, usually they kind of like, if a player has decided to leave, it's like, well, we don't want more pictures with him in the jersey. Like, we're trying to sell. Like, we could use this content for later in the year.
Like that, they've got about 8 players that Roosters fans have seen them win multiple premierships with.
Yeah.
And they went with Suolii.
Yeah.
They've got new signings like Dom Young, Spencer Leniu, all these guys, Suolii.
Yeah. Maybe they're just a sucker for a hot boy, like we all are.
Who isn't?
Guilty as charged.
Yeah. Throw the book at me.
Okay, let's talk about rugby then while we're on the topic. Oh, Hamish McLennan, he's been ousted, a vote of no confidence. I think it's like 5 states, rugby union states. So I think his plan was to centralise, I think, a lot of the running of like the Super Rugby franchises, and New South Wales were on board, Victoria on board, but all the other states were not on board. So there was a vote of no confidence from those 5 states, which saw him ousted. Now, they'd already tried to give him the opportunity to resign. He said, nope, I'm not going anywhere unless I get voted out. So not only has he left his role, he's actually left his role as director as well. Now, Hamish he helped usher in us getting the rights for the World Cup 2027. Mm-hmm. So there were, some things that he did well, I guess. Again, I don't know that much about it. But I will say, just some of the quotes I've seen from him in regards to the Eddie Jones situation, just as an Australian rather than a rugby fan, because I don't know that much about it, that's where I was like, mate, if that's your perspective on it, it's very hard for me to feel like you are the guy for such an important role in this country. What do you reckon, boys?
Mate, I completely agree. I probably don't know quite enough about it to comment too much in depth, but those comments the other day, I just sat there and went, that's nail in the coffin stuff. Like, we all make mistakes, we all fuck up, so be it. That's sweet. But to say there's no regrets whatsoever,
yeah,
Crazy.
Bizarre.
Like,
Yeah.
because the thing is that no one saw this coming. There wasn't a single person. Well, there would have been people, but most people were like, Eddie Jones is back. He's going to revitalize. Like, we're all excited.
Yeah.
We're all excited. So I don't think any reasonable person expected this to happen. So therefore, how could you hold McLennan to that much of account? Obviously, you've got to hold him to account because he made the call, blah, blah, blah. But you'd be like, man, even he didn't see this coming. But to come out and say, I wouldn't change a thing,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Tone deaf, isn't it? Yeah. As an Aussie as well, like, not a big rugby union guy, but just so disappointing. Gave us a bit of hope and it went really badly. I mean, I wonder whether he might have survived had he have just owned it and gone, nah, didn't go particularly well as I'd seen it. We learn from it. We get, we go again. But to double down and say, nah, no regrets, very upsetting as an Australian. As an Indian cricket fan, Matty, how do you feel about it?
No comment from me.
Yeah, look, very strange to come out, not change anything. And look, I'm sure he's done some really good things, but I guess then you have to go, okay, well, if that's your perspective on this and your lack of accountability, it seems anyway, your lack of accountability on the situation that's just unfolded, is he a hard guy to work with? Is that what the other states are saying, that it's like his way or there's just no way? Because, all the states to vote like that and push him on and him saying, I'm not going to go unless I get voted, it's like, even that says a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows he's about to get voted out, but because it's almost a selfish approach. Because if you want to put the game first, and look, I don't know the ins and outs, there's probably way more to it, so I apologise, and I'm happy to be told I'm wrong in the comments. So please, as you guys know on this podcast, we always want to know more about sports we're not that familiar with, so please enlighten us. But what's best for the game is that if you know you're about to get voted out, you keep it behind closed doors and you step aside.
Yep.
And you say, you know what? Didn't work out the way we thought it would work out with the Eddie Jones right decision, so I'm going to move on and allow someone else to come in. And I think that's like the honourable thing to do.
Yeah.
But to create an environment where it seems to me like a selfish decision of, well, then on my record I can say I didn't walk away from anything. You guys told me to leave. That's what it seems like. It's that decision is.
Yeah.
The whole thing's just a fucking shit show.
It's just a shit show, and that's the problem with the union.
Yeah.
It's like we've been here before.
Yeah.
Fire people, someone else comes in. Fire people. So it's just, how is it like? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over.
And it does sort of feel like, once again, don't know everything about it, more than happy to be called on it, but it just feels like no one's willing to take accountability for the constant fuck-ups.
Yeah, constant.
Like, it's not like we woke up last week and was like, oh, Wallabies aren't in a good spot.
Yeah.
I've been saying this for a decade,
Like literally a decade.
if not more.
And it's always someone else's fault. You know what I mean? Infighting, power struggles, and very, very bizarre behaviour. And like the Eddie Jones situation, like the fact that you couldn't just immediately go, got that one wrong, guys, I apologise, because basically he's come out and said, Hamish McLennan's come out and said there was an active smear campaign against him, and said that, we didn't do well at the World Cup, but that's because of underlying issues. It's like, hang on a sec. We all know we have underlying issues at Union, but there were actual selections made by your guy that you brought in that definitely didn't help us.
Yep.
So now, if those selections were made in, okay, I'm going to go youth because we're building towards a World Cup after, Eddie Jones would have stuck around, but he didn't. He bounced. So that's what doesn't make sense. Those underlying issues weren't those selection choices to try and fix the underlying issues and build this new. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. And then he's out of here and he's off to coach probably another team in the next couple of weeks.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
So bizarre.
Just feels like a massive inside job. It's like, I'm going to come here, going to sack all the experienced guys, bring all these young guys together, then I'm going to leave immediately. Immediately after.
And when I do move all these guys on, I'm going to keep saying the mantra of I'm building for the future.
Yeah.
And then bounce.
But before I do, I'm also going to say all the guys I dropped are terrible role models.
For no reason.
And yeah, it's just a dumpster fire.
Far
isn't
out.
it?
Just craziness. I feel terrible for Rugby Australia. Like they are on death's door right now.
Yeah.
Death's door. What else is there to say? Let us know in the comment section. Union fan, would love your insight. I'm sure it's better than ours, but the whole thing has just been a disaster, absolute unmitigated disaster.
You single-handedly fixed cricket in this country. Maybe rugby union's your next one.
Maybe reach out, big union. Maybe reach out because I'm obviously getting under the table for cricket.
Yep.
They reckon I've revived the game in the country. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. There have been a few signs.
Yeah, a few signs like retaining the Ashes and all that kind of stuff. But until I made that speech,
Yep.
the game's never going to be the same again.
If you can get us a Bledisloe, let alone a World Cup, that'll be your greatest achievement.
Okay.
By far and away.
All right. Challenge accepted, boys. Challenge accepted. Keary and the Roosters are currently negotiating to extend his contract beyond a year to play in 2025. Makes sense. I guess it'll be about price. It'll be about making sure they keep Sam Walker. Because I thought he played some good footy towards the end of the year. Because to extend his contract by a year to play. Okay, so he's only signed for this year, but they want him till 2025. I guess, yeah, makes sense. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it makes sense as well, and I agree with you. I thought the first half of the season he was very quiet. I sort of found it strange how much criticism Luke Keary avoided, but he got to the back end of the season and he played some very good footy. There's no doubt about it. And I think that you finally saw him and Sam Walker gel. I know we have seen it previously and it's sort of been up and down, but it felt like they'd found the balance at the back end of the season.
Yeah,
and I
sure.
know we've said that before. I'm well and truly aware of that. But I think end of 2025, I think that'll sort of be where the career of Luke Keary sort of wrap up. I think.
Yeah, I don't see him playing past 2025.
Which, if he doesn't achieve another thing in rugby league, he's a 3-time premiership winner.
Actually crazy.
Clive Churchill medalist, played Origin, played for the Kangaroos, I believe. I thought he played a couple of games for the Kangaroos.
Put an absolute clinic on a pretty good Melbourne Storm side in a grand final.
Absolute clinic. It's probably the quietest we've ever seen a Melbourne Storm.
Yep, you're right, Guru. 2018.
Yeah. He was in that Tonga game, I think. Yeah, so it's been an unbelievable career for him, and it'll be. I'm keen to watch how Sam Walker develops under him as well.
For sure. Also, rumours that Wighton will play centre for the first couple of years with an eye to replace Walker at 6. This surprised the shit out of me. Ricky Stewart's last press conference was him saying Walker's not a 6, he doesn't... Wighton's not a 6, he doesn't like playing 6, he only did it for the club. And now all of a sudden he's eyeing the 6 jersey when Cody Walker decides to retire. Very surprising. I'm surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Same.
I just think he's an out-and-out centre.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either.
Yeah.
I feel like we're constantly trying to shift good players into more prominent positions. If you're a gun at one position, be the best at that. And I think as a left centre, he would be tremendous. As you guys know, I don't love the idea of him playing left second row, but I'd rather him there than 5'8".
100%. 100%. And I'd way rather him at centre. Look, I'm neither here nor there. If he plays centre, it's the reason why the centre situation is hard for me is because I just think Isaiah Tass has been so good.
Yeah.
It's tough to move him. But if he played centre, he'd play centre. Like, good. He'll be gun.
They've got a young guy coming through as well, Jai Gray. I'd be putting money on him to be the guy to replace Cody Walker.
Yeah, okay.
When he comes through.
Don't they also have a 6 in New South Wales Cup that goes all right as well?
Yeah, they got Hawkins as well.
No, the other guy, the young guy.
Dion. Yeah, he played for Tonga this year, the back end of the season, Matty. Yeah. So they've got plenty of options there. I don't know. Wighton, and it's so funny after all that to hear Ricky Stewart say it himself.
Yeah.
Like he did well at 5'8", but he's not a 5'8".
Yeah, nah.
He's a good footballer who can play multiple positions. If I had to write down the 4 spots I want to see him play for South Sydney, I'd have Lock before I'd have 5'8".
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Bizarre that this come out. But exciting times. He is in the kit. We saw the first image today.
And the rig, he had a rig shot. Was it Maroubra over the weekend?
Oh, he had a rig
Looking
shot.
in phenomenal.
Wow.
Nick. So very exciting for the Bunnies fans.
A bit of news as well. Well, not really news, but development. New Zealand Rugby League are going to have a board meeting because a few of their ex-players don't think that he'll be able to prioritise the Kiwi job if he takes the Origin job. So Madge's New Zealand future is up in the air at the moment.
Ooh.
Has that been confirmed by New South Wales Rugby League yet?
No.
Nah. So apparently it's not been confirmed out of respect for the New Zealand job, but who knows?
I've read that it hasn't been confirmed because they're trying to nut out a few contract situations.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Nah, we're sweet.
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
Could you imagine?
Yep. Yeah, I
Could
can
you imagine? Damn. That is tough a match, having that famous win and then them going, mate, it's either New South Wales or New Zealand. Oh.
Meanwhile, Billy's sitting on his farm pounding bananas, watching his fucking Good times.
Oh, yeah. NRL Grid has exploded onto the scene.
We're going again?
Fucking, let's do it.
You got to drive this week, Guru?
Fucking oath I do.
One bit of...
Fucking go, baby. Worst content on the internet. Let's do it.
We had a review meeting after last week's Grid and we probably came to an agreement. There was a little bit too much... Maybe for the YouTube fans, it might have been okay. So it was sort of seeing us think, but hearing us think on the podcast, there was a... You always want to avoid dead air, don't you, on radio or podcast?
And let's get the events in order. So before the podcast, it was floated, and I'm not going to throw anyone on the bus. It was floated about this NRL Grid. I hadn't heard about it at all. So I was floated.
You're off the grid.
I was off the grid.
Fucking loser.
I hadn't heard about it. Anyway, so it was explained to me, and I said, listen, I'm just not sure if that's good for the content of a podcast. I'm just not sure them listening to us guess names. But I had my arm twisted because I'm a man of the people.
Yep.
It's a democracy.
Yep.
And it was a 2-1 vote.
Yep. Ended up being Democracy Manifest.
Yes. Succulent Chinese meals was had.
Yeah.
And so succulent content was made.
Yep.
And so it was a vote 2 versus 1. We decided to have NRL Grid on the show. And
Get your hand off my grid.
and we decided to do it. And it was the worst content on the internet, and we're going to double down and do it again this week. NRL Grid for the day. We haven't had a look. We don't know what the answers are. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah, we can do worse than last week. All right. So our top column, debuted 2015 to 2020. Then we got a St. George Illawarra Dragons jersey. Then we got a Steve Price teammate. I think you're fitting into one of those just quietly. Then we've got, down the side, we've got New Zealand Warriors, a premiership winner, and a Canterbury Bulldogs jersey. Matty, where do you want to start, mate?
I mean, I always just go top left because...
Top left?
Yeah.
Debuted 2015 to 2020 and has played for the New Zealand Warriors. What are we thinking?
Guys like Reece Walsh, probably going to be too many.
No, I should get this because obviously... Oh, so what was the years?
2015 to 2020.
Yeah.
And they have played for the New Zealand Warriors,
the
at some
Warriors.
point. Yeah.
Oh, I wish I remembered his name. Remember that fullback that was Gun? Fisarsi or something like that?
Glenn Fishiahi.
The Fish.
The Fish. Remember him?
Was he before?
Was he not before that?
I think he might have been before.
Oh, was he before
Glenn, yeah, I reckon he was well before that. Yeah. Yeah, because he was, didn't he play against you in the Toyota Cup Grand Final?
Yeah, in the 20s, in about 2010, 2011.
No, that was early days. 2015, 2020 has played
Warriors.
for the Warriors.
I like to go just randomish players like Albert Vete. People like that.
I like that.
That's what I like. Yeah.
Vete?
Karen?
I was thinking Josh Curran as well.
Curran,
Vete,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, Vete for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Vete.
What do you reckon we're going to get here? Because I'm getting worse at predicting these.
I'd be saying sub 2 for
Sub
Vete.
2?
Sub 2.
1.22. Very
There we
nice.
go. Great start. Now go across one.
Next one is New Zealand Warriors and the Dragons. My question to you, did you play first grade at the Dragons or not?
Nah, charity
No.
shield.
I got burned by this. I went down and camp on a Dragons related one the other week and I got...
Cost ya?
cost me 100
Does
points.
Charity Shield count?
Doesn't.
I highly doubt it.
The Grid, you've let me
We
down.
never lies.
So we
what,
need
Dragons and Warriors?
A Dragon and a Warrior.
I tell you what, the Grid didn't count Nico Hines as a premiership winner the other day, so I don't think Charity
What?
Shield's going to count.
Even though he's in the 17.
Yeah, they didn't count
Didn't
him.
get on the field. It's
But
tough.
he's still in the 17.
I know it was definitely the wrong call, but the
Definitely
Grid's
wrong call.
ruthless.
That's the wrong call.
The Grid is ruthless.
Okay, Dragons, Warriors.
And what has to have played in those years
No,
or not? Just
Just
Dragons,
Dragons, Warriors.
Warriors. You and
20. Yeah, you and Aiken's a good one. Who else have we got?
I mean, Ford's a bit recent. Probably a lot of people have picked. Oh, did Ford even play for the Dragons?
Yeah,
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You said Beal?
Played him in every position.
Beal.
except his.
Beal's a great
Beal's
one.
a good
Beal's
one.
a great
Gerard
shout.
Beal's a good shout.
It's a great shout.
Beal?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go Beal.
it is.
Beal or no Beal? Beal!
Oh, 7.8. Tough gig.
Oh, what?
Now,
Beal's bigger than
Steve
we thought.
Price, teammate, played for the Warriors.
Ah, okay.
Well,
Can Dem? Has
Yeah,
to be.
has to be.
What do you reckon this would be?
0.53.
Ooh,
Brain.
with a brain emoji on
Nice.
top. There we
Very
go.
nicely done.
That's because you brained him over there, mate.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't.
All right, debuted 2015 to 2020 and is a premiership winner. 2015 to 2020 premiership
Times,
winner.
but you said no.
So, debuted 2015 to 2020.
Yep.
Brenko
Yep.
Lee.
Oh, did he debut
I reckon he debuted just before that.
for the Durs?
Yeah, it would have been just before that, I reckon.
Yeah. Close.
Premiership winner. Let's get Rogue. Who's won comps last few years?
What about
Cowboys. were
Cowboys?
2015.
what about like Jack Bird?
That's not a bad one. Or he'd be right on the cusp.
Be right on the cusp.
Because we had him the other day.
He
He's
debuted
Jaden
2015.
2015.
Are you sure of that?
Yeah, we had him on the
Yeah,
podcast
had
the
him
other
on
day.
the podcast the other day.
Oh, could be good. He's bird the word.
Nicely done. 3.35.
bad.
Very good.
Good grid, boys.
Well done,
Keep
boys.
it up.
A premiership winner that played for the Dragons.
Nightingale.
I'm thinking like a Jared Safi.
Oh, just lock it in.
Smoking from the
play
bench
in-
there.
Did he
Yeah,
play in
lock
that
him.
grand
I think he was on the
Ooh,
Ben.
oh, Guru.
0.63.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
good.
Take
Wizard
it.
emoji.
Wizard.
Wizard.
No big deal. Stop bringing it up. Wizard emoji.
A
Send us
Steve Price teammate that was a premiership winner.
Thurston.
Brent Tate.
Oh, no. 'cause
Brent
he came
Tate.
in for Price, didn't he?
Brent Tate.
You want to go Brent Tate?
Because he's 2006 Broncos.
Yeah.
And they were at Warriors.
I like that sort of out,
I like that
out of the
thinking.
box
Yeah.
thinking. Brent Tate.
5.43. Not bad. Not bad.
Take it.
Okay.
We're doing okay here. Might finish in the top 1,000 or so. Debuted 2015 to 2020 and played for the Canterbury Bulldogs.
I reckon this is a rogue one. Let's go Corey Horsburgh.
I was going to say, yeah, those loan deals. are good
Yeah,
ones,
that
eh?
line.
Gold.
Oh, that's great.
He definitely played before 2020, Horsburgh. You had him on the other day, didn't you?
Oh. Yeah, he played the grand final year. Yeah, he played the grand final.
Yeah, played the grand final.
2.1.
Ooh.
Nicely done.
Okay.
Take
Well
it.
played.
Dragons.
So how many players, did it say how many players are playing? Or will it
Yeah,
be?
it does.
Yeah, so
Because that day, it
Dragon.
was only 500 people playing. As in people playing. the
Oh, no,
game.
there's like
It's exploded.
thousands.
Oh, did it explode?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge.
We'll
now.
take credit for
Yeah.
that. We will.
Dragons, Bulldogs.
Jimmy Graham.
Jimmy Graham, yeah.
I'm starting big and you can whittle it.
yeah,
Let's get weird.
Yeah.
Dragons, Bulldogs.
Mick Ennis.
Chase Stanley.
Chase Stanley. Yeah, that's a good shout.
Oh, Chase Stanley.
Can you get any weirder, Matty?
Not in the next
Duffy.
10 seconds, no.
3.11. We'll take
Okay.
it.
Oh,
All right,
that's okay.
let's finish with a bang. This is a good one. Steve Price teammate, Canterbury Bulldogs.
Tony Grimaldi.
Jamie Feeney.
Feeney's going to be hard to beat.
Some of these names are jokes.
68 players did it, according to the grid. The grid never lies.
The grid doesn't lie. But some of
Feeney?
these names are just throwbacks. It's so good to hear.
Not Jalen Feeney,
Jamie
Feeney.
Feeney.
So we finished with 25.8.
No, that's not bad.
What was Feeney? What did we get?
By the way, I said we finished in the top 1,000. We're 997.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Feeney was 1.7.
Good.
How many
good footy.
people played?
So far today at 12:51 p.m., 2,160.
It's literally quadrupled.
You're dead ball dynamo with a coffin emoji.
Oh, there you go. The
good stuff.
best content on the internet. And shout out to the NRL Grid guys. I hope they're making some money off this because cool little game.
We
It
save
is
the
cool.
best for last, don't we?
Yeah, always. We should open the podcast with this. Could you imagine? People are like, are you fucking serious?
I'd be all for it. What's the best you finished?
Oh,
I've been a bedsheet merchant.
yeah.
the last few weeks.
I haven't had like a really, really good one.
That's the first all
Yeah.
green one I've had in a while. I've had a
Yeah,
couple
right.
of clangers.
All right, there you go. Speaking of clangers, 50% off everything. Worst content ever. Thanks for listening. We'll go and fuck ourselves.
Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.